Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelly, aka the Sunshine Crafter. Thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be doing a Christmas card, which is like watercolor stamping and embossing powder dipping. I guess that's what you call it. These are the products I'm using: the Stamp Market Thin Alpha Die, Hero Arts Fine Branches, and Distress Oxide, and Catherine Pooler inks in Rockin' Red, Seafoam Green, and Spruce ink. I'm also going to be using a Distress sprayer and a few other supplies that will pop in the video along the way. So this is the end result, and as you can see, I didn't add a lot of water to make it a loose watercolor, but I just did a little bit. Okay, and I'm also adding the NUVO Silver Sparkle glitter drops. These are new, I just got them. Okay, so to start off, I'm using the smooth side of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. And I'm using my MISTI Creative Corner because I'm going to go off the edge. And, excuse me, and I have my little FAWN stamp chamois and my little rag. I don't like the way microfiber rags feel, so I have this other type that works well for me. Anyway, all the supplies will be linked below. It's Hero Arts Holiday Pine Branches. Okay, so what I'm doing is just putting them off the edge of the card, and I'm stamping them, as you can see, and I'm spraying them. Just one spritz, and I'm holding it down to let it absorb into the cardstock. And again, this is my first time doing this technique, and you can see closely like some watercolor bleeding a little bit, like that watercolor look. You can spray it more and add more water and make it really loose. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do another card, a few of these cards for Christmas cards, because I like the way it came out, and I got it done pretty quickly. Yeah, so I'm just I'm speeding this along because I'm just stamping, spraying, and repeat. And I'm just repeating these colors. Now what's nice, I bought this stamp set last Christmas, but I didn't use it until this year. So yeah, I'm happy I got it. And I also I'm going to show you a stencil from Echo Park, which is very similar to this stamp set. It's a stencil, so it's great. You'll see. I'll show you soon. Okay, so again, just stamping with these Catherine Pooler inks, spraying, repeat. And I'm just going along the edges and picking out random branches, and I'm just, rotating the colors. You can, use one color and just stamp all around, but I just kept rotating. And, they say that inks don't cross-contaminate, but I do find the red does that. I had at one point wiped the Rockin' Red with my stamp chamois, and it transferred red and green in a stamp, in an image. So I was like, so this is what I do. This is my little tip. Take it if you will, but I take alcohol wipes and I wipe it to make sure I clean it well. And then afterwards I wipe it with my chamois with water to get rid of the alcohol and dry it. Now, I don't know if that's good for the stamp, but I've been doing this for a while, and it hasn't hurt my stamps at all. I also have large alcohol wipe sheets that are like wipes, and I use those to clean big areas if I have a large stamp, because the stamp chamois, let's face it, it cleans it, but it doesn't prevent cross-contamination of ink. So, and I've found that happened to me quite often. So a little alcohol wipe cleans it, removes a lot of ink. Doesn't prevent staining, but it removes a lot of ink and prevents that cross-contamination that I just hate. Anyway, okay, so now I'm filling in the areas with these little stars from the set, and I'm just rotating colors. And, again, it's very simple stuff. And, it's basically making your own holiday pattern paper. And yeah, I like these colors together because they're festive, but they're not too in-your-face festive. Like, you got your Rockin' Red and your Spruce and your Seafoam Green, and those I like the way they look together. And then, yeah, so I'm just filling that in, and that's about, just, these berries are probably meant to be at the center of a branch or a bundle of branches, but I just kind of use them to fill in the areas. So that's probably not what they're for, but I don't care. You can make your own rules, right? That's what's fun about card making. And there's this other little stamp. I don't really know what it is. It's like a little circle with lines through it. I guess it's supposed to be some type of, I don't know, acorn type nut. I don't know, something for the center of the branches. But again, I just use it to fill in. And I just, use another branch. And see, yeah, I used the red, so I wiped it before I used the other color because I didn't want it to cross-contaminate. And I just filled. Okay, so once that was all filled in, I just, what am I doing here? Oh, I think yeah, I just, a few more little spots I missed. I just went back with the little star guy. Okay, now I'm going to cut out my letters. Obviously, the alphabet only has one R, so I'll cut that second. Now, normally my die cutting machine is off to the side, and it's on a desk. I moved it into the camera view, so it's going to shake a little bit. I apologize for that. I normally don't keep it on this table that I record on. So, see? Yeah. Anyway, but I just wanted to show you the die cutting process here. And now I'm using the inks to make them red. And yeah, I did them red, all the Catherine Pooler, see? I mean, I guess you could use a blending brush or an ink, or one of those stencil brushes, or a blending tool to do this, but I just kind of did that. It just kind of was fast. Boom, boom, boom. Dip it in the ink, and that's the end of it. Okay, so after I die cut my foam to go behind my letters, now here's a little tip. If you cut foam from Fun Foam, die cut something, a lot of times it gets wonky and it changes shape and it's hard to line it up under your image, whether it be letters or whatever. If it's a thin enough image, it tends to change its shape. So what I do is I keep my letters die cut in my foam. I keep them there, and then I take my cardstock die cut and I glue it and I put it right on top. Now don't put in too much glue because then it'll ooze out the side and it'll adhere to the piece you don't want to. I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, I just put the letters on top of the foam, keep them in their little original spot, and then just pop them out and they stay together nicely. And I was using a multi-medium matte for glue. Now that is Perfect Pearls in a distress sprayer. I sprayed my cardstock panel, preparing to, with it to make some water spots, but I wanted it to be shimmery, so I sprayed it, and it's hard to see on camera, but I sprayed it again off camera, and I moved that off to the side to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. Oh, I'm laying down I found cardstock, textured no less, that matches the Rocking Red ink perfectly. I couldn't believe it. That never happens to me. Never. I thought I was going to have to use the ink to dye a panel to go underneath, but I found cardstock that matched. It was wonderful. Anyway, I trimmed this down. It's an A2 card base, and it's Nina, 110 pound, and that is, the top panel is the Tim Holtz watercolor paper. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't cut it down small enough. So while glue was on it, I trimmed it very carefully in my trimmer, and I had glue on my fingers and everything kept sticking to me. So it was quite annoying. I had to flip it over. So yeah, these are the struggles. The struggles are real. Now, T-ruler. This is another important tool that I use pretty much in every card, to get my letters straight. And a lot of times I'll go up too high, and then I realize, so I figure out where I want them, line up my T-ruler, and keep it steady. Now, the word Christmas is a die cut from a SIZZIX. Wait, let me see. Where is that from? Give me a moment. I'm going to look right now. It is, yeah, it is a, You know, I'll have it linked below. I apologize. I'm not sure where that Christmas die. It's from a sentiment set, and I'm not sure where it's from because I have quite a few of those little ones. I'm looking now. It's bothering me. I must know. Anyway, okay, so there's the Echo Park stencil. See how much it looks... I'm sorry, not Echo Park. Newton's Nook. Excuse me. Newton's Nook Holiday Festive Stencil. It looks just like the... It's very similar to the stamp. So, yeah. And then, as I made one card before I made this video, and then I made the card for the video, and then I realized, oh my God, I forgot to do the embossing powder on the bottom of the letters. And I already glued them down. What do? I use my Versamark pen, which this is another handy tool that I think every crafter should have. And I just colored on very carefully the ink and then sprinkled the embossing powder on and heated it from there. Most times I have to go over it twice, but I'm not sure if I did it once or twice here, 1 or 2 coats, but regardless, I did it while it was on the card, very, very carefully. And it's because I was rushing to get through the video and that I missed a step. But yeah, before you glue your letters and onto your card, make sure you put the embossing powder on if that's what you want to do. You know, I make mistakes all the time, and most times they're during a video, and I keep them in because I don't want to I want to show you how I fixed it or dealt with it or whatever. So maybe hopefully that's relatable. Okay, so anyway, I made sure that my gun was really hot before I brought it over to my card because I didn't want it to warp or change the shapes of the letters. And yeah, and that's what I did. So I managed to pull this off without screwing it up, remarkably. Yep, so there you go. There is the 2 cards. Now, I mean, it would be pretty without the silver embossing powder. We could use gold, would be nice too. But I used silver because of the perfect pearls I used had a silver shine to it. So I wanted to keep it a silver theme. And silver sparkle NUVO drops. I'm tapping the card. Oh, wait, hold on. Stop everything. There's Peanut. It's my sweet boy. He's about 2.5 pounds now. We got him when he was 8 ounces. So he came in while I was filming and meowing, so I figured I'd let him say hello. Okay, so now here's what I do with my stencils. I recently got the pixie spray. I sprayed too much on. I was like, well, let's make sure it's good and sticky. Don't do that. I sprayed too much, and it wound up leaving sticky residue and ripping my paper. So yeah, I've used this stencil at least 6 times so far, and it's still sticky as very, very sticky. And what I do is when I store it so it doesn't stick inside the envelope, I use a clear sheet from packaging sheet, and I put it on, and this way I could just slide it in and out of my the envelope it's in. So anyway, I'm using an antique linen here, and very carefully because there's couple areas that get snagged easily with the stencil on the foam pad. So I'm cleaning it off now and just putting it back on my sticky sheet, putting it away. So that is everything. Oh, and then I realized, you know, I want to do my sentiment. I like to match the inside of the card to the outside of the card. I used to make my cards blank inside and just write whatever I like, but I like to kind of dress it up a little bit now. That's what I've been doing. And so yeah, so I'm taking the Hero Arts, a different Hero Arts set, which is all sentiments, and I'm using that to stamp inside over the Newton's Nook stencil on the inside. And I'm using Gina K Amalgam ink, which is nice black ink. And there you go. There you have it. So I stamped it a couple times, get a good image, and there's the card. And that's pretty much it, guys. I know there's a lot of card makers out there, and I know there's a lot of videos, and mine is not very good. I know this. So I appreciate you stopping by. It really means a lot to me. And if you could please like my channel, follow me, subscribe, comment, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.